I want you all to put your hands together and give a big Kids in Action for the magic of Uncle Dave.
That's okay. I can do this on 3 legs. Okay? Okay. Now what am I going to do? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to need a volunteer here. Let's see here. Okay, young lady, why don't you help me? Why don't you come on up here? And what is your name? Lily? That's a pretty name. Do you know that was my name when I was your age? Yeah, really. Really, Lily. That was my name. Did you know that? Will you help me out on this trip? Okay. Here's what I've got. I got a rope here. What I want you to do is I want you to just go ahead and cut it in half. You didn't bring those scissors? No. Did you tell her to bring scissors? She forgot. You don't have any scissors. You don't have any scissors. Oh, check your pockets. You might have brought them and not realized it. No scissors. You didn't bring any scissors. Well, I tell you what, Lily, you're lucky because I brought my purse. You ladies carry purses all the time. And you know why I brought my purse? Because I carry a pair of scissors in it. That's why. I always carry a pair of scissors. Now, here's what we're going to do. You can take those scissors here, and I want you to take and cut. Now, be very careful. You did pass kindergarten, right? Be very careful. Go ahead and cut right there. Now, make sure you cut the yellow, not the flesh color. Just go ahead and cut. What's wrong? Really? They open real easy, okay? Okay, now be very careful. I got them over for you. Be very careful. Go ahead and cut that right there. Okay. Sometime today, it's only a half-hour show. Now what's wrong? Really, they close real easy. Okay. Oh, these work real good. Go ahead, take these scissors right there, cut. Get a good cut right there. Now what's wrong? I know these scissors will work. I better not let you try these. I've seen you with scissors. I tell you what, yeah, I know these work. Take care, be very careful now. And I want you to take and go ahead, pull that up. Go ahead and cut that real quick. Right there. They only gave me 10 minutes to perform. Wait a minute. Okay, what we're going to do is going to tie this together real good right here. You know, boys and girls, this rope is kind of like our life. Our life is going along real smooth. And parents, you need to listen to this. And everything is going just the way you want it to, and all of a sudden the devil jumps up and puts something in your life here. And boy, does it look bad. And the first thing you do is try to fix it yourself. Go hold that real tight, Lily. Just the end here. Okay, now she cut that in the middle, didn't she? Yeah. Okay, hold it tight. Okay, about that in the middle? How about right there? But you know, when you try to fix it yourself, it's always there. But you know what? Lily, if you take and ask God to help you with it, okay, that problem, you're going to not have it, and God is going to take it away. Give her a nice hand. See what happens when they give me technical stuff? Okay, now, if you read the Bible, and this is something that's really interesting, if you read the Bible, God talks about how he made everything. And he talks about the 5th day, because that's when he made the animals. But God left us kind of hanging. He didn't tell us what came first, the chicken or the egg. So we're going to use a little bit of magic and see if we can figure this out with somebody's help. Okay? Let's see, I just used a young lady. How about you? Come on up here and help. Oh, wait a minute. You're a UK fan. Living in Ohio? Get up here. And what is your name? Cruncher? Hunter? Uh-oh. Hey, Hunter, how are you? Good? Have you ever performed in front of a big crowd like this? Are you nervous? And why are you shaking? Okay, here we go, Hunter. What we got, Hunter? Watch this. Stand right here. Come on. Don't go away. There you go. You have a pair of scissors, too? Oh, I thought maybe I got the wrong person up here. Okay. What we have here, Hunter, we've got an empty tube. Oh, I'm scared like that. An empty tube. Inside there, we have another empty tube. And of course, inside there, we have another empty tube. What we're going to do is take this egg, put it down there like that, put this cover back on, put this one back on, and we're going to use a little bit of magic. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Because God didn't tell us. Now, I don't criticize God. My wife might, but I don't. But my wife's a big help. Anytime I do shows, she does all the driving. All I have to do is hold the steering wheel. Okay? But anyway, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take this magic wand here. I know I got one in here somewhere. There it is. Take this magic wand right here. And what you're going to do is just wave it back and forth, just like that, okay? Wave it back and forth. Take that magic wand. Wave it back and forth. Hunter, what'd you do to my wand? Okay. Now, I know this works. This belongs to my great-great-great-great-grandmother. Boy, was she great. Okay, be very careful with it, because all you're going to do is open it up and wait, because this has been in my family for a lot of years. And if Granny knew you did, oh, boy. All you're going to do is just open it up just like that. Take it there, open it up. Go ahead. Open it up. I want you to wave it back. Sorry, Grandma. What did you do? Okay. I know this works. Nice and solid. Take that magic wand like that. I want you to wave it back and forth over the top. There, honey. Put your arm up. Put your arm down. Quick, you're losing friends. Okay. Take that magic wand. Right there. Wave it back and forth. Put your other arm up, Hunter. Put it down. Okay, we're going to try this one more time. Just wave it back and forth just like that. Okay, and wave it back. What's your name's Gil? Okay. There we go. Wave it real quick like that. Wave it back and forth just to... Okay, Hunter. Take that wand. I want you to hop over here like this. Okay, wave it back and forth. Let's see what came first, the chicken or the egg. And it was the chicken came first. Thank you. Give Hunter a great hand. Thank you very much.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time with feeling, put your hands together for a very funny Uncle Dave. Wow, you having a good time so far? Well, we have our next magician coming up in just a moment. We do want to remind you that there is no such thing as real magic. Everything you see us do is a form of theater. Up our sleeves, done with mirrors. Everything we do, any 10-year-old could do if they practiced for 20 years. Okay, so we wanted to remind you of that, but now that we've got that straight, we're got our next person. He's a very funny, very, very talented magician, entertainer, godly Christian who's been amusing people on missions trips. He's been everywhere. Please give a real good Kids in Action welcome to Mr. Chris Gardner.
Good evening. I hope everyone's having fun. I sure am. I enjoyed that routine. How about you guys? Well, the first magician I ever saw perform was at a venue similar to this. And he walked out on stage with a handkerchief. And he took that handkerchief and he began to pass it through his hand. And as he pushed it in the top, from the bottom, the handkerchief began to change color. The more he pushed it in, the more he pulled it out, the more the color began to change. Until finally, the handkerchief had changed color completely. And the crowd went wild. Well, that was really, so, boys and girls, there wasn't the internet when I first saw this. So I couldn't get on the internet and research it. I had to go to libraries and read books and try to figure out how this trick was done. I was obsessed to do it. And I couldn't figure it out. But I finally just thought that I kept playing it over and over in my mind. You see, we didn't have iPhones and video then either. So I had to see it in my mind. And I came up with what I thought the magician may have done. Would you guys like to know my version of what I think happened? Well, we all know. It was 2 scars. You see, before he came out on stage, he would take one handkerchief and he would push it into his hand. And he'd push it in there nice and tight. You see, he had to hide it there before he came out so that when he came out, it was hidden in his hand, and he had to make sure that he didn't open his hand, or you would know that he had a handkerchief hidden there. And he began then to push the handkerchief in the top of his fist. And from the bottom of his fist, it appeared to change color. Good boys and girls, the first time I tried it, I pulled the scarf out way too soon. And everybody knew that I had 2 handkerchiefs. So if that happens to you when you try it, what you have to do is hide it in your pocket. Nobody will see. You see a little misdirection. Look, over there. See? And you didn't see me hide the handkerchief in my pocket. And just go on with the trick as if it was normal. You start to push the handkerchief in the top of your hand, and from the bottom of your hand, you change colors until finally you push it in, you pull it out, and you have two handkerchiefs again. And you take and you have to push that in there and hide it once again. And not open your hand so that they don't see the handkerchief there. Because you've got it right here in your hand. And all my friends over there are going, gee, what was he doing? Thank you very much. So, have you filled a bucket today? Any of you? No? Have any of you read the bucket filler books? Have you? You read about being a bucket filler? Well, excuse me. The bucket filler book excuse me, I thought I had a frog in my throat. Anyway, I'm about to show you something that most people have never seen. Have you ever seen an invisible bucket? No. Of course not. You can't see something that's invisible. But yet we all carry an invisible bucket with us everywhere we go. This bucket is inside of us. It's in our hearts and in our minds. You see, this bucket helps to determine what we think and how we feel about others, as well as ourselves. I'll demonstrate with this bucket. I keep it stored flat because it's easier to carry that way. I used to be able to keep it in my back pocket when I wore baggy jeans, but not so much now. Now, my bucket has a smiley face on it. You know why? I think it's because he's looking at all your beautiful faces. Now see, we're the happiest when our bucket's full. We don't like it when our bucket's empty. And the problem is we get up every morning and we awake to an empty bucket. But I'm going to tell you how we can fill someone else's bucket as well as our own. You know, a moment ago I told you my bucket was smiling because he was looking at your beautiful faces. Well, that was a way that I could add to your bucket. You see, when we compliment somebody, we're adding to their bucket. But better yet, we're adding to our own bucket. You see, when we say something nice, we're filling our bucket. When we smile at someone as we pass them in the hallway, we put something in their bucket. The best thing, though, is that every time we add to someone else's bucket, we do add to our own. Now, I want to read a little something to you from the book so that I get this right. You see, a bucket filler is a loving, caring person who says or does nice things that make other people feel special. But we have to be careful, boys and girls, because there's another kind of person out there also. And they're called a bucket dipper. A bucket dipper says and does mean things to make other people feel bad. Do you know what kind of person might be a bucket dipper? What? A bully. That's right. You see, a bully thinks that if they say something mean to you, that they can steal your joy, that they can take your good feelings and you won't have them. Well, boys and girls, he may feel good for a short time, but his good feelings are going to disappear. Where when you're nice to someone, you'll always feel good inside. Thank you, Mom. You see, boys and girls, when we do and say nice things, we just continue to fill the bucket. You can either be a hero and say and do nice things, or you can be a zero and you can hurt someone's feelings. You know, boys and girls, what I like best about filling someone's bucket is French fries. Yeah. When I have 9 grandchildren, and when one of them shares French fries with me, boy, that really fills my bucket. In fact, both of them. So, once again, boys and girls, be a hero and fill a bucket, or be a dipper. Okay? I'd like to leave you with this. Smiling is contagious. You catch it like the flu. When someone smiled at me today, I started smiling too. I passed around the corner, and someone saw my grin. When he smiled, I realized I'd passed it on to him. I thought about that smile and realized its worth. A single smile like mine could travel around the earth. So if you feel a smile begin, don't leave it undetected. Let's start an epidemic and get the world infected. Thank you very much.
Keep it going for Mr. Chris Garner.
Very good, wow. Say, is everybody having a good time so far? Okay, well, we want to tell you, we want to hopefully up your joy, maybe fill a little of your bucket with a simple announcement, and that is that we're going to have our Easter egg hunt, and that will be this Saturday. The start time is right around 12 noon. It will be at the park right on 276 down from the old fire station. We have stuffed over 5,000 Easter eggs. Some of them have candy. No. We have 5,000 Easter eggs loaded with candy, and we're going to let you guys go crazy gathering Easter eggs and having a good time. So that's next Saturday at the park down on 276, not far from the old primary school, and that's next Saturday at 12 noon. So we hope to see you there and bring an appetite for candy and an appetite for adventure. Okay, so right now we have one more announcement, and then we'll bring out the next performer, and that is, if any of you want to know a little bit more about us, well, there are comment cards in the back of the chairs. So if you have a question, a comment, anything you would like to share with us, please feel free to fill that out, and you can leave it on the table where you registered or got your ticket for the prize. So you can see that's what they look like. So again, if you want to know more about this Jesus thing or what it means to be baptized, anything, if you have any questions at all, trust me, no salesman will call. You will not be put on a mailing list. We will not email you. We will not come knocking on your door. We will not try to sell you something or get you involved in a marketing scheme. If you have a question, that's what we're there for. Okay, right now we have a very funny man. He is a professional entertainer. He travels all over ministering the gospel, doing magic illusion, putting a lot of smiles on people's faces, and filling a lot of buckets. So let's have a really good Kids in Action welcome for Mr. Paul Dahl. Presto Paul!
Everybody right up in front of me here say yeah! All right, my name is Paul. A lot of people know me as Presto Paul, and I got a question for you. Who here knows what the word illusion means? You know what the word illusion means? What does it mean, young man? Tricking someone. Very good. Very good. I'm going to show you an illusion with this newspaper. And everything you're going to see here today that we do and everybody else is doing is just an illusion. Because I cannot perform miracles, ladies and gentlemen. I only perform magic. There's only one person in this entire world that can perform miracles, and that's Jesus. Now, I want you to watch very carefully as I create the illusion of ripping this paper in half. I had people come up to me after the show, and they say, Paul, I thought I even heard that paper being torn into shreds. And I remind them that what I'm doing tonight is just an illusion. It looks real. It sounds real. You might even see separate pieces of paper fall to the floor. That's how real this illusion looks. But I remind you that this is just an illusion. And we're going to share some really cool stories with you tonight. Now, did that look real? Did that look real? Remember, though, it was just an illusion. Remember the pictures, remember the ads, and remember that this is just magic. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to need a couple adult volunteers. I'm going to come out in the back because these guys like to hide. Oh, there's a great looking couple right here. Come on, guys, give them a big round of applause. Excellent. Sir, can you come over here? Oh, we got an extra one. Good. Sir, come right over here. What's your first name? What is it, Brian? Randall. Good memory, Randall. How you doing? What's your name? Benjamin. That is correct. You stand over here with your daddy. And you are? Tabitha. You stand right over here, dear. Have we ever met before, Tabitha? We have not. She seems pretty excited about that. Yeah. Well, here's what we're going to do. I have who's here heard of Harry Houdini? Anybody? Oh, yeah, Harry Houdini. He is a famous magician from many, 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 many years ago now. I looked up to him when I was a little wee little magician like this guy down here. And his famous escape, does anybody know what it is? Anybody know? He used to work at Coney, a straitjacket, very good, very good. He used to work at Coney Island, not the one down the street, the one in New York. And he would do a straitjacket escape every day on the boardwalk there. And I'm going to attempt to do something here. Let me get something here. I'm just going to remove this for just a moment. What was your name again, sir? Randall. Turn to the right just a little bit. That's perfect. Randall's a little bit big for this. That's okay. I'll tell you what. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get strapped inside here. You're going to hold onto the shoulders for me. I'm going to put one arm in there, and then you're going to lock me in, sir. You'll see there are 4 big buckles here, and there are 4 buckles and 4 straps, kind of like a belt. You're going to put them together as tight as you possibly can across my back, and then we'll move on from there. You make sure he does a good job, okay, buddy? All right, good. I'm going to put one arm in here. I'm going to put one arm in here. Very good. Go ahead, sir. Pull it up over my shoulder a little bit. From the top to the bottom. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when Harry Houdini did this, I will tell you what his record time was in a minute, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do after he's done in the back. I will turn around, and I'm going to give you this buckle behind my back like this. You're going to take this buckle and put it through that little, or this strap, put it through that buckle. You understand? Okay, good. Now, when Harry Houdini did this many, many years ago, his record time for escaping from this regulation straitjacket is 2 minutes and 36 seconds. It's pretty darn fast. I'm going to attempt to break my personal record for you guys here tonight of 2 hours and 36 minutes. Got snacks back there, folks? Okay, I'm going to pass this back. You're going to push my elbows against my chest so I don't get any slack. Just push in, but not through, in. Jeez, go as tight as you want. Come on, I can take it. I got floating ribs. That's what they call them. Go ahead. Excellent, good job. As you can see, they did a good job so far. Give them a round of applause. But, you know what? There's one more strap to go. You're not doing it, dude. Take that and go on back with a big round of applause for helping out. Yes. Oh, not you. You guys go on down. Now, I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to make you do this one. Unfortunately, I believe everybody here in this audience will. If you want to see her pull that strap between my legs, everybody say, yeah! Nobody ever says no. I don't know why. But before you start going for this strap, I want to give you the instructions that are very important. This is not a weed whacker. Please don't yank it and crank it. Okay. I'm going to swing it to you gently, and you grab it on the backswing with all the love in your heart. the strap. Oh, she got it already. Go as tight as you possibly can through that little loop. Oh! Hopefully not as tight as the one across the back. Kids, stay in school. How we doing? Got it? Oh, great. Thanks for the extra tug up. I appreciate that. Give her a big round of applause as she goes back to her seat. Wow. I'm going to need some love. I need some help. I need a beat. If you got free hands, give me a beat. Come on. Let me hear you. Wait. Stop. I'm stuck. It's not funny. I have to go pee. I have some escape music going back here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you find yourself in this situation, this is how you're going to get out. Now all I have to do is to get my head through a hole, not big enough for my head. How about some encouragement? Come on, make some noise! Good thing I'm bald. Give me a hand. High five. This one's for you, dear. This one's for me. Talk about an atomic wedgie. You guys are awesome. Make some noise. Are you guys having a good time tonight? Awesome. I have one more thing I'd like to share with you. Let me sip of water after that. This water here is pure water. Clean. Check it out. This could represent Adam and Eve in the garden. Clean, pure, without sin. But we all know what happened. One day the devil came and tempted Eve with the fruit from the tree of life. And that day, sin entered into this world. Now, this is pretty gross. This is sin. Dirty. Nasty. On that day, it changed everything for us here in this world. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if I do enough good things in this world that are clean and pure? That will make my sin disappear. Do you think that will work? Let's see. Let's see if it works. No, it's still there. That sin does not disappear by our works. There is nothing that we can do to make that sin disappear. There is only one way for that to happen, and that's through the cross. Jesus sent his son to this earth as the sacrificial lamb. Think about it. It's a beautiful thing. To make our sins disappear. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you haven't made that choice, and it is your choice alone. Be sure to talk to somebody here at the church afterwards. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Come on. Let's put our hands together for Paul Go, Presto Paul. Okay, well, Well, we have one more entertainer. If there's still time, I might tell a few jokes. We'll just have to see. And while he's getting ready, once again, we would remind you that if any of you have any questions about what does it mean to receive Christ as your Lord and Savior, why do you need to be baptized, you know, what does all this Christianity stuff entail? Well, that's what we're here for. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to get to know you better. And we'd love to listen to what you think and what's on your heart, okay? Well, this last fellow is another professional entertainer. He's a committed Christian who has been traveling for more than 20 years presenting gospel illusions. He does mission trips all over the world, and I've gotten the privilege of knowing him. He's a very funny, very, very skilled entertainer. I'm sure you will be amazed, enthralled, exuberant, exhilarated, excited. You'll be clapping and cheering when I say his name. No, I don't need your sympathy clap. No, okay. Everybody, put your hands together for the magic of Brad Brown.
And just for the record, I will take your sympathy claps. Because your applause is the entire basis for my self-esteem. So that's almost a joke, but not quite. Anyway. I know I would start out by playing a game, because a lot of people get confused about magic. You know, they think stuff like Harry Potter and movie magic. Real life magic is nothing like that. Real life magic is just pretend. I don't have any real supernatural power. So to explain that, I thought we'd play a game with these cards. I have 3 cards. This is called 3-card Monty, because 3 cards. And if you ever played this game, well, you shouldn't. How many of you ever played this game? Me. You have? And he's quite proud. You probably shouldn't play this game, though, because the person with the cards is cheating. See, in some big cities, they'll try to get the tourists to bet money, and the tourists always lose because the person with the cards is cheating. And that's what magic really is. It's cheating. So that's why I wanted to play this game, so you understand that it's all just pretend. Like, it looks easy because I have 3 cards, a king, an ace, and a queen. So even if I mix them up, you will know that I have a king, an ace, and a queen. But remember I told you I was going to cheat? Here's the move you have to watch for. This is my sneaky move. That was it. All right, what card is that? No, remember I told you I was going to cheat? That's the king. The queen is over here. You see, when I mix up the cards, it looks easy to keep track because there are only 3. But maybe I move 1 card. Maybe I move 2 at the same time. So even though it looks easy, you can't really keep track. If I were being more honest, I would just show you the cards. Like I can take the ace and turn it over. But you know to watch out for this. All right, so what card is that? No, I'm sorry, the ace is right here. I told you it's going to be cheating. The queen is right down here. Now that you know how this works, now that you're starting to catch on, we can do this one more time. I'm going to take the ace. Put it right down there. And for those of you who think they figured out that I've cheated already, I haven't. I'm about to. Here we go. All right, how many of you think the ace is down there? Raise your hand. How many think the ace is up here? How many don't think? That's what I thought. If you thought the ace was down here, you lost. Before you get too excited, if you thought the ace was up here, you also lost because there is no ace. And it's all been just a trick. Yes, I'm a cheater. That's kind of my job. I can no longer see the clock back there, so I could go on for hours. You would know. I would never know. I thought I would show you some magic with a piece of rope. No magic? I thought I would show you something that's not magic with a piece of rope. And like most pieces of rope, this has 2 ends and 1 middle. Suppose for a moment I had 2 pieces of rope. How many ends would I have? 4. And if I had 3 ropes, I would have? Very good. You're obviously a very smart group. We're going to try something harder. What if I had a rope and a half of a rope? How many ends would I have? I'd have 3. Just like this. There would be 1, 2, 3 ends.
course, it is very hard to find a rope with 3 ends. It's even harder to find one with 4 ends. Now, something is obviously not quite right here, because if a rope does have 4 ends, 2 should be up here, and these 2 should be down here. So I can fix that. If I take these 2, I can slide them right down where they belong. I like that sound. Do that often during my show. So I have 2 ends up here and 2 down here. Of course, something is still not quite right, though, because if there are 2 ends here, there really should be 2 ropes. And in fact, there are 2 ropes. I can show you some magic with both of these ropes. I'm going to tie these. You're like my favorite audience ever. All right. I'm going to tie these into loops. I know it's sympathy, but I don't care. All right, here's the deal. With a little bit of imagination, something strange seems to happen. These two. Well, now I'm going to stop believing you soon. With a little bit of imagination, get ready to make an exciting sound, because these 2 loops melt together. That one sounded almost sincere. That was good. Doing that's actually very simple. To do that, you just have to learn to make a knot disappear. For example, here's a knot, and now it is not. Thank you. Once you learn to make a knot disappear, it's a very simple matter to figure out how to make one reappear. Back to our one big piece of rope. You seem a bit confused. Tell you what, I'll try to make it easier. Instead of doing magic with the whole rope, we'll just use the ends. So all you have to do is watch the ends. In fact, watch this end right here. This is where all the magic happens. This is called the mystery of the traveling end. Watch. There we go. One end grabs in the middle of the rope. I have one more end. Here we go. Brings back to our 2 ends and 1 middle. You still seem a bit confused. All right. So I get it. Ends are not your thing. That's all right. I find ends confusing too. I find a lot of things confusing, but I'm going to get rid of the ends so we don't have to worry about them. I'm going to tuck them in my pocket. We can forget they're even there, because as long as the ends are in there, there is obviously no way for me to take this rope and tie it in a knot. It would be completely impossible. And even if I had a knot, as long as the ends are safely tucked away in my pocket, there is no way to take this knot and untie it. Now, a very strange thing happens when that knot disappears. Actually, the ends of the rope disappear with it, leaving us with one endless piece of rope. So there are the ends. Yeah, exactly. They're in my pocket where I left them. So there I have ends without a rope and a rope without ends. This is not a natural condition for a rope to be in. But I found if I just lay the ends over the rope, it looks almost normal. In fact, with a little bit of magic, you'll actually become completely normal. As long as I'm showing you magic with a piece of rope, I thought I would show you the most famous rope trick ever. If you've ever seen a magician, you've probably seen this. If you were watching the first act, you've probably seen this. It's the one where the magician takes the rope and a pair of scissors and cuts it right in half. Now, magicians try to make it look very difficult to put rope back together. It's actually pretty simple. All you have to do is pull on one end of the rope and it will get longer. And of course, the other rope gets shorter. You can see it's almost back to one rope because I have the one big rope and the one little rope. All I have to do, wait for it, here's the big finish. I'm going to push this. I'm going to push the little rope back into the big rope in slow motion so you can watch it happen. Here we go. Slow motion. We're left with just a knot. All I have to do is untie this knot. Back to our one big piece of rope. Let's play everybody's spontaneously breaks into applause. That's how I clean my room at home, too. Anyway, I need to rearrange these before I hurt myself, sorry. Right. This is one of the things you learn as a magician. Put the scissors that way. Where was I? Oh, yes. Presto Paul did an amazing escape. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to be Houdini. I did, like the straitjacket escape. When I was a kid, I wanted to do that like Houdini would like hang upside down off of buildings, and I really wanted to do that, but my mom would not let me hang upside down off of buildings. I know, moms just don't understand. However, my mom is not here. So what I thought I would do, I thought I would try and escape. Now, unlike Presto Paul, who has the amazing straitjacket, I do not have a straitjacket. So what I thought I would do, I thought I would attempt to escape from my suit jacket. You're right, I can do it. Thanks for the affirmation. I do need to find a couple people to help me, and for this one, there is a height requirement. I'm sorry. Oh, height. So I need 2 people. We must be like this tall to play. So I need a couple girls. I'm going to have a couple kids help me later, so it'll even out. I cannot see past the first 2 rows, so I'm coming down here. Ooh, I can see. Where's the big people section? You have to be bigger than that. I'm sorry. I'm going to get grown-ups who just came to sit here peacefully and don't want to. It doesn't matter. By the way, you do realize when you stop making eye contact, I can still see you. All right. You want to come down as well? Come on up here. Give my helpers a big round of applause. We're going to leave this in just a minute. Let me go ahead and get this out.
Who's that?
What's your name? Nick? All right, Nick, you get to stand on this side. And your name is? Randy. So we have Nick and Randy. And what's your real name? All right, just checking. Nick and Zach Randy. All right. Now, me just escaping from this jacket would be quite impressive. Just ask UK guy, his name I forgot, I'm sorry. Hunter. But apparently I haven't lowered your expectations quite enough for that to be impressive. So what I thought I would do to make it a little harder, one day someone asked Houdini what he would do to tie somebody up so they couldn't get out. He said he would tie their fingers together with surgical thread. Yeah. Houdini was a very mean man, apparently. I don't have surgical thread, but I brought something else that I thought would work pretty well. If I try in my pockets, I'll find them. I have zip ties. So we apparently don't like zip ties in this church. I have one for you. I have one for you. I have one just in case. Now we're going to use one of these to tie my hands together. So go ahead and make it into a loop. And you probably know how these work because you live in this century. But they'll get tighter, but they won't get looser. And some you can like do the little tab and get them out, but not this one, no. Now make sure it won't get loose. Because if you put it through the wrong way, it'll come back out. So make sure that won't happen. We're going to use one of these to tie me up. Tie my hands together to make the suit jacket escape harder. We will not use this one because you'll think I kept the trick one for myself. So by your applause, how many think we should use Nick's to tie me up? How many think we should use the one with this person whose name I'm not entirely sure of? That was close to a tie. Let's try it one more time. Nick? Other guy. The winner is not you. That teaches the mess with a magician. That's hilarious. I gave myself a rim shot. All right. I'm tempted to keep throwing things back there, but the drummer or musician would run up here and drag me off stage. All right. We're going to use that to tie my hands together. We're going to tie it around my thumbs. Just like that. We're going to do it behind my back to make it even harder. So there you go. Just pull it really tight. Ooh, all right. All right, yeah, laugh. Here, all right, go ahead and check that out. Make sure it's good and tight. All right. Now, to do the escape, I can't be seen, so I'm going to be hiding behind the curtain of death. Hopefully no one will die, but it's just a cool name. So there are 2 handles on each side. So you grab these 2 handles, you grab those 2 handles. There's a second one somewhere. You'll find it. All right, go ahead and hold it up really high. And then drop down to the ground because I got to get in the middle of it. Oh, not yet. Drop it down. Yeah, drop down for you. No, oh, sorry. I've miscommunicated with the sound guy. All right. Now here's what we're going to do. When I say raise it up, you raise it up as high as you can. And when I say drop it down really low. So this will just be practice. Go ahead and raise it up. Perfect. And bring it back down. Very good. Now, you can shake it out. It's up to you. Is that so good and tight? All right, very good. All right. I'm ready. I'm ready to begin the escape. So go ahead and bring it up. I will, ow. Problem with the ear mic is I just ripped off my ear. All right, hold on. All right, we're good. Back down. We're halfway there. If you like that half, you'll love the next half. So here we go. Here we go. Bring it back up, and I'll try to finish the escape. All right, hold on. One. Ah! All right, and down. It's all right, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It'll be fine. I'm going to try something more difficult. It said that Houdini could, like, dislocate his shoulders to get out of things. That's the sound you'll hear me make, because I'm going to attempt to dislocate something to get out of this. And so go ahead, raise it up, and I will, ow, I think I might have dislocated the wrong thing. All right, bring it down. Is that still good in sight? I'll check it out. All right, you're good. All right. All right, I better finish this before I hurt myself. Go ahead and bring it on up. And down. You can drop the curtain, but go ahead and grab the jacket from me. All right. We do have to finish this, so I'll take that. You hold on to this shoulder with your right hand, your other right hand, and you hold on to that with your left hand. Perfect. And you hold it right about here. Perfect. Now we do have to make sure this is really tight. So when you give that a tug, make sure. Ow. All right, how about over here? You want to check this out? Oh, he's being nice. Now, all right, you don't look nice to me. I could be wrong. Ow! All right. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking he can just wiggle his hands and get out. So I want to prove to you that there is no hand wiggling involved. So with your free hand, will you just grab hold of my wrist? And you grab this one? And I need you to come in really, really close and help me out here. Come in really close. You have giant thumbs, but that's okay. Well, give my husband a big round of applause. Let the guy on my nose get spicy. Thank you. You did a great job. Thanks so much. What's more, that is in fact how I clean up home. Now, I actually... I'm too old to do physical things anymore. I'm sorry. I actually have something kind of important I want to share with you. This is my pile of important things. And I'm going to need your help remembering because I'm really... And this really is important. You've been doing a great job. You've been doing a fabulous job. But I want you to be extra quiet because this is so important. I want to make sure everybody here can hear this. Even if you already know this, the person next to you may not. This is so important. But I want to illustrate this with these blocks. So I have a light-colored block here that I'm going to use to represent God. Talking about the almighty, all-powerful God who made the whole world all by himself. So what does the light block represent? God. I also have a dark-colored block. This dark block will represent a person. So it could be you or me or him or her or anybody. So what's the light block? God. And the dark block? The first thing we can learn from this is that God loves us. You know, God wants to have a close friendship with us. And when God first made the world, that's the way it was. People could spend time with God. People could have the kind of relationship with God they were designed to have. And it was a perfect world where nothing went wrong, nobody got sick, nobody died, because it was perfect. You've probably noticed our world today is not so perfect. In fact, it's kind of a mess. And a lot of people don't have this kind of close friendship with God. It seems that God is really far away. In fact, some people find it hard to believe God's out there at all. And there's a reason for that, and I'm going to illustrate that with this red block. This red block represents sin. Now, sin is just the church's word for disobeying God, or at least the Bible's word for disobeying God. It's like when you know you're supposed to do something and you don't do it, that's sin. Or when you know you're not supposed to do something and you do it anyway, that's sin. Like, you heard of the 10 Commandments, right? Now, nope. Well, I'll tell you a few. One of them is don't lie. Like, how many of you in this room have ever told a lie, no matter how small? Okay, those of you who didn't raise your hand, how many of you were lying just now? That's what I thought. If you lie, what does that make you? A liar. Or sinner, but I was going for liar. We now know this church is full of a bunch of liars. The other commandment is don't steal. So how many of you in this room have ever taken something you're not supposed to, no matter how small? Come on, you already admit you're a bunch of liars. How many of you have ever stolen something? If you steal, what does that make you? A stealer. Might have gone with thief, but neither one's a good role model, so that's okay. That's only two. We could keep going through all of them, but the important thing is all of us, every single one of us, have disobeyed God. We've all broken God's law. And when we break the law, it's only fair that you're punished. Like if I were to break the law, I'd have to pay a fine or go to jail. And the same is true with God's law. If we break God's law, if God is fair, the price has to be paid. But that's where the good news comes in. I need to get a couple people to help me. So I'm going to get down so I can see the people who I can't see from up here. Let's see. Would you mind helping me out? And let's find a guy. He hasn't been up yet. I think you're a guy, and I think you haven't come up, so come on up here. It's dark, so if you're not a guy, I'm sorry. Don't be mean. Don't be mad at me. What's your name? Alyssa, you get to stand on this side. And you get to stand right here. What's your name? Oliver? All right, you're going to get to hold on to this side. And you get to hold on to this side. Oh, I got to get one more block on there first. And hold it up kind of high. I know it'll be kind of hard on your arms, but I have faith in you. All right, do you remember what is this dark block? The light block? And the red block? Exactly. You see, our sin keeps us apart from God. In fact, the Bible teaches that the punishment of sin, or the Bible says the wages of sin, what we deserve for our sin is death. That's talking about dying and being separated from God forever. And there is nothing that we could do on our own to get rid of that. It doesn't matter how many good things you do, how much you go to church, nothing that we could do would fix that. And that's what Easter is really all about. Easter is when we remember Jesus dying on the cross. Now, Jesus was actually God. The God who created the entire world became a human being. He chose to die on the cross to pay for our sin. See, he's the only person who ever lived who didn't deserve to die because he's the only person who never sinned. Instead, Jesus chose to die to pay for our sin. So no, you and I are guilty. Hold it up really tight. Jesus died to take care of that sin, making it possible for us to meet up with God at the cross. Well, thank you two so much. You did a great job. Give them a big round of applause. You did that, you did that down to Of course, it doesn't end with Jesus dying on the cross, because Jesus was God, and Jesus proved it once and for all when he came back from the dead. And even that's not the end, because each one of us gets to decide for ourselves how it ends for us. You know, I bet a lot of you already are friends with God. You already have a relationship with God. But some people here may still be living apart from God. And if you want to start a relationship with God, it's actually pretty simple. It starts by just putting your trust in God. And if you have questions at all about what it means to start a relationship with God, then before you leave today, talk to any of the church leaders here, or talk to us magician types. Some of us know what we're talking about, some not so much. But we like talking to people. But seriously, if you have any questions at all about what it means to follow God, before you leave today, find somebody and ask questions. If you go to another church, that's great. We're not trying to pull you out of there. But if you have any questions at all, see somebody. Now, there's something you may or may not have noticed about me. That is, I am just a little bit weird. For example, I leave my clock way over here, so I have no idea what time it is. Perfect. Anyway, I was saying, you may have not noticed I'm a little bit weird. You did notice. I was trying to be subtle. But that's okay. Weird just means special. Weird means there's nobody else on this entire planet who's like me. God made me special, and the really cool part is God had a plan that was just perfect for a weirdo like me. My main job is traveling all across the country, sometimes all around the world, acting silly and telling people about Jesus. It's like the best job in the whole world for me. And the good news is, well, this may or may not be good news, but I've noticed you all are a little bit weird too. Some are a lot weird. But that's okay. Weird means there's nobody else like you. Just like God made me special, God made you special. And God has a plan for you. Sometimes we think that following God means you're going to live a boring, awful life. But the truth is, following God with all your heart is really the best life you could possibly have, because you'll be living the life God made you to live, being the person God designed you to be. And that doesn't mean life gets easy, nothing bad's going to happen. Ultimately, it's the best life you could possibly have. Well, as I said, I get to travel all over the place doing magic. Sometimes I go to faraway places like Ohio. It's very scary there. It is. Sometimes I go even farther away. I've been to places like, been to India, I've been to the Philippines, I've been to Africa, and in some of these places, it never ever snows. Do you like snow? Yeah. I'm kind of done for the year. But I think snow is really beautiful. And it'd be really sad to be a kid growing up and never ever get to see snow or play in snow. So when I went to India, I decided to bring some snow with me. Now, have you ever tried to carry snow on an airplane? Yes, then you know how hard it is. Yeah, when you get there, you don't have snow anymore, but all your underwear is wet. It's kind of bad. But here's what I did for the kids in India to show them snow. I can do it in Telugu, an Indian dialect, therefore I'm not They really didn't get it either. Until I opened it up, they started to figure out I was talking about. But of course, this isn't real snow. Real snow is much smaller. Real snow is made mostly of water. And a little bit of cool air. Most have to remember that the only real magic is what God can do in your life. Thank you very much.
Well, hey, did you have a good time? Go ahead. Hey, did you have a good time at Kids in Action? Well, I tell you what, a good cast is worth repeating. So, in just a moment, we're going to have our drawing. Somebody's going to win. Who wants to win that gift certificate? But go ahead, play the song, and before we do that, let's go ahead and let's hear it for our cast one more time. We have the comedy magic of Uncle Dave. The beautiful storytelling of Mr. Chris Garner. The antics of Presto Paul Dollo. And of course, the amazing magic of Brad Brown. I'm your host, my name's John Lewis. To God be the glory. It is time.
Well, I've been with the KIA with the children, and I really enjoyed this magician. It's really a show that really surprised me, the talent that the men had. I'm also, I'm part of the group that plays the drums for the Children in Action, and also on Sunday morning. And but as you get back to the entertainment with the KIAs, with the magicians they had tonight, it's been one good show, and I was very impressed, and I'm hard to please.
Hello, my name is Jason Bull. I'm with the Owensville Church of Christ, and this year we had our Kids in Action program. For our closing program, we had the Fellowship of Christian Magicians at our church. I should say that again. We had the Fellowship of Christian Magicians at our church. The program was fantastic, absolutely awesome. I'd have them over and over and over again. Not only were the people amazing, the program was amazing, and they really taught the kids the importance about God Himself. So we're super thankful for them and all that they do.